We're hopping into game number 1. It's a brand new best of 3. We're officially in the round of 8 for the Corsair Cup Season 7 Round 2. Again, big thank you to Corsair and Twitch for making this possible. If you guys want to see them keep supporting great events like this, consider subscribing to the channel, be it through Twitch Prime or regular sub methods. Cheer with bits for the Twitch part of it. Or if you really want to get some cool gear that's actually quality, and I can vouch for this, hit up all the affiliate links down below for the Corsair store. Even if you don't see something on our page that you want to buy, by clicking on one of those affiliate links and then navigating on the website, we'll still get credit for your purchase. It goes a long way, and Corsair Gear is like top of the line, guys. Headsets, keyboards, mice, and then of course the hardware for your computer. But game number 1 kicks off here, and in the top right we've got the Red Protoss playing for Team Liquid. It's MaNa. It's one of the more consistent European Protoss. Always good to see him.
In the bottom left has the blue Zerg. It is the Korean PenguiN.
So I don't watch a lot of sport.
Okay.
Sports. But, man, I messed that up. Good start. But one thing I have always liked about it was the whole away team versus home team dynamic. And I don't mean like because people are just swapping their jerseys around, but literally you'd have the hometown heroes, like where I'm from, the Canucks, fighting anybody else. And when it's fighting in Vancouver, even if I are playing, whatever, even though I don't watch hockey and I don't really enjoy it, it was still really cool to know that like these are the guys I'm rooting for. So to really spell it out for you guys, PenguiN is a Korean player. He's not too bad. We see him. He's one of these guys that I don't think wins a lot of the cups, but he's one of the guys you also don't want to find in the bracket because he can knock some of these good players out. So he's the away team player for sure, coming to the European server fighting against MaNa.
Yes, he is. I don't know how used he is to being up this late and playing with high ping, but we'll find out. I don't think he's played much else. What?
Oh, I thought I saw something that I did not. Never mind.
Okay. Well, anyways. Actually kind of reminds me of a tweet that was retweeted, I guess, by Romy. I don't know if you saw it, but I don't know who this guy was. Maybe I actually should have checked his Twitter. But it was like 17 tweets long about what type of storyline production should be set up for, like, not StarCraft, esports in general, so StarCraft included. And I thought it was actually kind of interesting because we have a lot of comparisons drawn from like esport to real sport individually, overall, you know, whatever. But it really does feel like, and this was the point, was that esports should be set up more like the Olympics than it should be NFL or MLB or, you know, whatever. And it has a lot of really good points.
Nationality, not so much by teams.
No, he wasn't about nationality. He just meant like the way that the storylines are driven, the way that you actually get excited about a game. So it was like his main 2 points were that one, just like most Olympic sports, it's really hard to get into. Like the only thing that really drives you to watch the game is that like you sometimes want to cheer for like America or something like that, right? But other than that, like you just really don't know anything about the players or the sports because no one regularly follows Olympic sports, right? Everyone's super into curling when the Olympics are on, and then no one like gives a fuck. Like after,
I was gonna say everyone's super into curling. Okay, Zombie,
yeah,
I'm done with your spin.
But people love the Olympics because there are so many stories that are built.
No, you know why you watch the Olympics for curling? For the Russian women's team. My God, those are beautiful ladies.
Specifically for curling, okay? I just as an example, but
I'm just saying, I actually watch the curling when I know the Russian women's team is on.
Okay, but you probably know, I mean, they probably had a lot of, like, spotlights on them, and they probably had a lot of interviews. They probably had a lot of, like, you know, photo shoots, right? To actually, like, say these are the people that we have. So his point is just kind of, like, the way that you get into the Olympics is a lot more similar to the way you get into esports. It's not as easily, like, digestible as, like, say, the NFL is, where it's like, that guy tackled that guy, and it was awesome, and also this is my team from my city.
Yeah, but there's a real big separation, too, as well, like, on the same dynamic for StarCraft. Like, the Olympics, you're not going to be like, oh, well, hold up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 drones out of commission. Oh, God, that was a really good stasis trap out of MaNa. But I was going to say, can you imagine if the Olympics, you had, like, race blaming the same way you do in StarCraft? That guy only 100 meters. Usain Bolt, like, he's black. Nice race, Protoss. Look, it doesn't work like that.
Sometimes you do, though. Like, it's funny because I think a lot of people are so ready to draw parallels or lack of parallels. But really, there are. It's just that it's not as vocal as we are in our scene, right? But people legitimately just like don't want like Kenyans to participate in marathons, right? Like, because they're too good at it.
Can you guys please step out?
Hey. Anyways, it was an interesting just overall point. I thought, because having actually done an Olympic sport that no one flipping cares about, I kind of get that.
Let me guess.
You know, like,
let me guess. Was it kegels?
Yeah, if only that was an Olympic sport. Your butt kegels would be the best.
I'm gonna shot put those muscles right where I need to.
Nah. Like, no one watches track and field. It's like a 3-day event that is mostly just waiting around for the thing you actually want to see.
Oh, that feel when track and field is StarCraft.
Hey. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to talk about the game aside from that awesome stasis trap, and it was awesome, but we have PenguiN going for a little bit of an interesting little addition here. So certainly Ling, I imagine Baneling eventually, Hydra, but with double upgrades, not just +1. Didn't get that one that time. And MaNa has gone into Charge and Immortals.
This constant stasis trapping, though. I mean, PenguiN has actually been rocking the income when he's fully mining. And MaNa's been, you know, not exactly late to his third or anything, but it's just the way Zerg works with their expansions, especially. Like, worker count up to 70. As we can see here, those MaNa keep stasis trapping. He goes from such a big deficit to ahead of the income. Like, these stasis traps also don't put drones back to mining. So, PenguiN still has a lot of drones out of commission that shouldn't be out of commission. And it's not because he's a bad player. He's just been hitting multiple spots. And he's looking at many different things. And he finally gets them back mining. Man.
MaNa's looking...
There's a lot. There's very few instances where I make a mental note, but like this game is one for if I ever wanted to tell somebody how powerful a stasis trap can be on the workers, this is a game I would reference. If I want to ever tell anybody how powerful stasis trap can be to turn a game around when you're down in army supply, Neve vs Nurtio, Sequencer, map test tournament, early May or whatever. Like there's very few games where something so impactful and makes it like you so aware of how good that thing is.
That was on Sequencer, was it? That was the really bad map.
No, it's Sequencer. That was where he got the turnaround.
Oh, I thought it was the really, really bad map that we saw, like these really, really huge stasis traps, like a huge concave.
No, man, I'm 100% sure. Well, maybe there's something else that happened after, but the game where Neve was on his last life, the stasis trap on Sequencer is what brought him back.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have 1-1 finishing up, and we did eventually have a Baneling nest thrown down for PenguiN, but obviously it's pretty late. So there's no centrifugal hooks already done and already threatening. You'd have to, there you go, research it now. Double upgrades, this is so... You almost always see +1 melee. Maybe they go into +1 missile, but more often +2 melee, right? And then they just kind of stop upgrading for a little while. It looks like a small addition, but it is all things considered like, 325 gas? That's, a lot more Banelings or a couple more Hydras. 6 more Hydras. Math makes a point. The point that MaNa wants to make is I want to get to Storm, so I do like the cannons, like the stasis trap, and I like the hesitation to even try and take on that army. Storm is only like 10 seconds out, so it should be ready for this next fight.
Yeah, and Storm is going to be not just good to have, but absolutely necessary, because despite all the cool little moves MaNa's done to sort of waylay PenguiN and delay his attack, the fact is Lynx and Hydras are still really, really good against what MaNa's got, with no AoE. But now that AoE is finally involved, tide's turning, and I favor MaNa's army quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, despite my point about the gas investment into the +2 carapace, he still gets 51 Banelings. So...
Where's that Nurtio meme?
Enough.
But instead of like Reapers, it's all about Banelings and Hydras, right?
Someone responded to his meme with Hydras being like the next level, so...
Yeah, that's where we is right now, but all these Banelings are getting denied hardcore by these force fields. Storms are looking pretty good. Hydras are taking an interesting fight for the Immortals. The trades are going sort of okay, but MaNa really needs to hit some of these Hydras with the Storms too, not just the Banelings.
This is all happening before 2-2. Like, it might work.
Oh my god, you're right. Oh my god, PenguiN, why?
Okay, they did not work, but like he ended up taking quite a few immortals because there's so many to begin with. But charge lot warp-ins will help take care of these lings, which are usually very deadly. Yeah, he's got immortal, and that was a lot of gas investment for PenguiN.
That was actually pretty devastating. Look at the resources lost. It was not that different before because MaNa hadn't killed much. He just like denied probe or drone mining and stuff. Now it's like 2-1, and PenguiN lost so much through that. My argument here, like I know you keep bringing up the banlings, and that is a huge part of it. But the other element is like those hydras were never really stormed. It was charge lots that cleaned them up. So that's trading just pure minerals for like gas units too. Like every angle of that was so good for MaNa.
I feel like that's kind of a clinic. Like what people are like, I don't understand how to defend against this. Say the pros do it, and like, you show them this. And it's not about the mass amount of storms as much as their players like want to say that. Right? No, it was just like the calm. Like he waited for his warpings. He waited to drag the zealots out once he was dealt with the banelings, and he didn't let the banelings overwhelm him either by having really calm, well placed force fields.
Yeah, actually that's a good point because there's no overlapping force fields. They're perfectly placed. MaNa didn't freak out and spam them down in a panic.
Yeah, that was the least panicked I've ever seen someone deal with the Baneling Hydra attack. And this is like talking about real like other professionals, by the way. Just like there is always a little bit of panic. No, he was like totally prepared. So, as I said, just like one of the best examples of how that can work.
Oh no. Handles the game so perfectly that it's the worst Zealot controllers this Banelings.
German Archons.
Storm helps take care of the problem though. One Baneling it does have +2 weapons, so he's got to take care of that, otherwise it will kill like 5 or 6 probes.
I love the instant replacement of those, by the way. Not only for the defense of the 4th base, but they're just going to gain more energy in case they're needed on the front lines.
Yeah. Splits though take out all those Banelings again, and it's a handful of Hydras left. Unfortunately, MaNa does not have those Zealots. He's banking like 2k minerals, and I think a big part of this was he wanted to transition to air. And cool, more power to you, but I mean, last thing I want to do is see him die because he has no Zealots in his army.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that this transition to air came too quickly. It's unless you have some really great scouting, which I don't know how much his Oracle's been active. You don't know if they're transitioning to Broodlords after that fight or they're going for round number 2, and choosing the wrong one can be deadly.
He just broke his own force field with his Archon too, by the way, so that ended up costing him as he ate all those Banelings. A lot of gateways going down here too, as a lot of his production, and while storms are hitting some of these Hydras, I still took a lot of probe losses. These lings are still just chipping away at the mineral line. MaNa's busy looking at the army, not at his probes.
Luckily, he had such a high probe count to begin with that he's probably just going to transfer some from the main and still be okay. 62 after losing 20 probes. You kidding me? But that's the way it's gone. So he's trying to help the tiniest little amount.
Mothership takes forever to make. She was warping in that whole fight.
It does. PenguiN is, as we can see on the production tab, continuing to make Hydras and, obviously Banelings eventually. But I was going to say, when's the last time that PenguiN has been scouted? And MaNa, I thought that was the Oracle. It's a Warp Prism. Goes back into the main base, see that it still is, in fact, a lair, and he should just be ready to deal with more Baneling busts, Baneling Hydra busts. I say that because I see MaNa moving out on the map, and I'm, like, super worried about it.
Yeah, being exposed is hella dangerous, and even though he's got the possibility to recall, it's not something he's going to want to have to do at all. Running away with the Warp Prism to the south as well. Zealots might charge in, so he pulls them back.
Yeah. So, really, that was quite an important scout. Obviously, he's planning on recalling this army need be. He just really wants to get the creep off his back. Off a potential 5th, too, I suppose. But he doesn't really need to be in a hurry to get to that Stargate production. I know he set it all up and he even got a Tempest, I think, one Tempest, but I think he might be totally right in just stopping that as he realizes how this game is going to go. I mean, PenguiN, he's on 4 bases for a very long time. Now he's on 5 bases. He still has 1 or 2 more fights left in him, but he should be the one losing steam with the, trades that go in MaNa's favor.
Well, Revelation tags the army, and Hydras are, funny enough, not really the problem. I really have faith in MaNa to be able to just, warp in a handful of Zealots and deal with the Hydras. And these storms,
Oh, PenguiN's been the aggressor the entire time. He was not prepared for that. Oh, boy.
Same time, MaNa's fighting really exposed, but he's taking out so many of the Hydras before the Banelings are even done. He actually kills a majority of them, too, with some splash damage. So, less Banelings for the fight, better for Zealots in the back end.
Yeah, this also isn't all of MaNa's army. There we
Yeah.
go. The
That's some here as
Charizard
well,
Immortals
some-
over there.
This is huge to shut down one of PenguiN's newest mining bases because all of his other bases are almost mined out.
Yeah,
He's gonna have
absolutely.
70 drones, but only 24 can really mine right now.
He also needs this new 6th base, but you know, MaNa finally took that fight that I think really solidified that I have a better army than you, and I will continue to if you just continue making this composition. Unfortunately, all of his bears are gonna get popped here, and the High Templars were scouted with that Overseer. Chargeots, please, we're supposed to be the saviors, but they come back and they take care of everything.
Executing charge. If only Phoenix had one of those, he might not be a robot now.
Like the recall. He's still doing damage.
Actually-
Oh, Archon's now. Okay.
It's really funny to think about because it was a Hydralisk that killed him in the Brood War cinematic, right? Like a modern day Zealot with charge would have no problem killing one Hydralisk.
Wait,
Even
what's
with-
cinematic?
Like when Phoenix dies in Brood War.
Oh, I don't remember.
Or maybe it's the first StarCraft, not Brood War. Whenever, but the point is like when Phoenix
Right.
dies, it's
Okay.
like 1v1 a Hydralisk at some random temple. And it's like, yo, if he had charge, I'm just saying.
They just had speed back then.
Ooh.
They're really uncultured.
Okay, so he did get one of the Archons out, but that still hurt losing that War Prison. That's some pretty precious cargo, but... You know, it's interesting to watch PenguiN 2-2-2 across the board. Normally we see the Hydras have no upgrades and it ends up being pretty weak sauce, but these things are going to be hitting pretty hard because MaNa has no armor upgrades. And with no sentries down, no Guardian Shields, very limited force fields, like, I'm worried about these Hydras perhaps being a little too good at this point.
Huh. I'm surprised he dealt with those stasis traps.
As am I.
You know, you see one building and you think you got him before it's all ready to go, so I'm shocked to see him split that other wing. Oh well. It doesn't really do very much though at the end, and this is, as I said, like MaNa was clearing up creep, I think, to specifically take this base, as the goal would have just been like way too hard to defend. The rocks broken down over here. Another War Prism on the way. MaNa is like winning the game. I think that needs to be said because okay, so the roads go down here.
Nice.
Because it's like still 17 and a half minutes and there's been so many battles, you know, PenguiN's army is gonna like lose over time. The only way that he's actually going to, I think, take back momentum and take back the victory is if he gets like the best concave with a wraparound of Banelings into the High Templars, you know? Which so far MaNa hasn't had a catastrophe of a battle yet.
You know, I just realized based on its scaling, the mothership should be significantly bigger because she's supposed to be in the sky or at least closer to the camera bird's eye view. So you consider that, like, you know, things that are closer to the camera are bigger than things that are not. This mothership's actually tiny as hell.
Yes, it is. Battle cruisers should also be so much bigger.
There was that mod, Real Scale StarCraft
Yeah.
2. I saw Loco do a couple videos of that.
Yeah, exactly.
That looked cool. We need to do a tournament with that.
Looks really annoying.
Actually, I will tell you guys, I don't have a date set, but we have a plan for a 2v2 tournament in the near future. So that'll be some kind of fun change-ups. I'm kind of tempted, though, to see if the guy who wants to sponsor it would be interested in trying out that Vanguard mod. That looked really fun watching that this weekend.
I didn't catch any of it.
I don't think I understood most of it, but it looked fun.
Okay. Army supply is similar here. Upgrades, kind of. I mean, I think they're favorable for PenguiN, but MaNa with 3-1 is not exactly too bad. And I think this Storm was going to beat out everything. But this is so cheeky to take this base, the gold base, MaNa's gold base. That one Tempest that he bothered making, I think there might have been a Broodlord transition, I guess, finally dies.
So there's some really hardcore irony in a guy in chat who's complaining about, I know he's fake complaining about spoilers for StarCraft, because he was waiting for the remastered version, right? But what kills me is that he has a Twitch Turbo icon. And I'm like, yo, 2016 called. Not even, it's like 2015.
What is from that, you know, a couple places that they can't get Twitch?
Then, like, what, 2 countries in the world? What would they even be? Like 2 islands in the Bahamas?
I don't know, ask him, man.
Twitch Prime, everyone gets Twitch Prime now, dog.
Where are you from, man? Why you got that turbo still?
Yeah, hit us up. And tell us when you're from, too. Just for clarity.
No. MaNa is being pulled apart on 2 different sides but is doing an okay.
Ooh, well, then implies the warp doesn't head into it. Bailey's crashing into the Nexus too. Stealth is huge though here. This mothership is keeping so many things alive because there's no detection.
Yeah. That was a little questionable though,
Oh
like
god,
for
but
a second there.
you know what? Zealots killed all the Hydralisks while this went on though. So still for MaNa, a better trade.
He needs a Oracle here. He definitely has to clean up this base. He cannot let PenguiN just take this, because if this is going to go on for, because it's 20 minutes, right? Like, of just constant back and forth, but MaNa was still the leads, in my opinion. It could go on for another 10 if he's not finally aggressive. And losing a gold base in a 30-minute game, your gold base in a 30-minute game.
There's something to be said for both of these players, though, because while PenguiN's making these really greedy and, like, what looks like very costly mistakes a lot of the time, MaNa still has never been in a position to really push to win. You know, there's always that fear that he gets caught out in the open, and it's happened a couple times.
Yeah, well, the middle of Proxima, I think, is one of the most dangerous places, and then around your 3rd/4th, where we saw that very initial battle happen, there's definitely a lot of concern over those points. But now his army seems confident enough, big enough. Okay, he gives up a 4th base. That definitely had a lot more mining to it, but oh well.
Yeah, PenguiN's actually out of income without this base. These other bases are all just empty. Empty, empty, empty. Almost empty.
Yeah. PenguiN trying to get work done with some cheap lings. They're so well upgraded that it probably could happen. Obviously, they just got a Nexus. But a couple of charge locks makes quick work of it.
If this was like Hive Tech, these had adrenal glands, this would actually be straight up devastating. But I kind of forgot, we talked about it earlier, PenguiN's been on lair for so much of this game, and I don't think he had any intention to ever go to Hive.
Doesn't look that way. But MaNa not
this is
willing to
risky.
base trade. You know, that probably was worth saving the Nexus, though.
I guess, yeah, talking about PenguiN having no money, MaNa's in that same boat.
Yeah. And while the Mothership Cloak has helped him in a couple
some-
of different scenarios,
That is some long-distance mining, sir.
his army manages to still be bigger even after losing such a big unit. It's certainly scrappy. PenguiN's almost made just pure lair tech work. Oh, that's bad. Oh, it feels actually better those being into hit. Oh boy.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. You could pick the turbo icon instead of the prime icon, apparently. I just walk around with my big dick check mark out, frankly, so I don't know about any of that.
Make the turbo badge better? Okay.
I mean, it's like a fully charged battery, right? You won't need to plug it in.
Actually, I can see why. The Twitch Prime icon is kind of weird.
And apparently, despite my sarcastic condescension earlier, apparently you can get Twitch Prime in the Bahamas. That's amazing.
Excuse you.
I'd like to overnight this, please. I'm on Island 4. Thanks.
And what the hell, man? You work in the Bahamas?
That actually must be nice.
What do you do? I'm like torn between thinking like he's like a hotel, like, you know, owner and
or
super
a pirate.
Rich. Yes. He's like
One of the other. Amazing.
Wow, I do not know a lot about the Bahamas.
No, you know what? I probably know less about the Bahamas than I do about Germany's coastline.
There you go.
I want to make a T-shirt. Just see Germany's coastline. It'll look like one of those tourist shirts from California. Put like a little bit of a ocean in the background, Bob Ross painting style. That'll be the next shirt we sell.
A few number of people get that.
I would love though any Germans watch. They're like, "Oh yes, quite proud of our coastline. I'll just buy this shirt to prove it."
Oh, this game is still going on, and it is scrappy. I really thought MaNa was just like, to be honest, I still think that MaNa did have the better army, but it was about just not letting something get caught in a bad position.
Well, what I think is really actually important here, and I don't mean this in any way to insult MaNa though, we see him struggle against Zerg a lot, and oftentimes like he ends up accidentally throwing games where he's or ironically enough, he fights the best game of his life on the losing army supply. So for once, it's really nice to see him. He's had control, I want to say, over the majority of the game. Yes, it's been a longer game, and unfortunately, it's taken him a while to kill his opponent. But this is a game where I feel like we've seen confidence and control out of MaNa the whole game through.
Yeah, but it might not be enough. He's only up 10 army supply. I mean, these are all very sturdy units that are protecting the couple of vulnerable ones.
Right, but he did just kill like all the tech. So PenguiN, for whatever money he has, he can't build anything but drones right now.
Queens. No, he can't.
Can't. You need a spawning pool. Yeah. So he's like,
Oh my god.
it's certainly an interesting dynamic where he can't afford to trade in the slightest, but MaNa can't afford anything. Period.
Well, so the thing about MaNa having a sturdy army is that, broodlings wouldn't kill anything here, ideally, the sentry and the high templar. But, PenguiN just lost a Hydra to a couple of cannons. Worth the cannons. Way to go.
MaNa, he is on a clock, though. With him losing his mining, yes, he can kill this army, but at some point, PenguiN, with 1,000 minerals banked, is going to make another one.
Hmm. Seven spine crawlers. Well, use your minerals. I'd say use the rest of them, maybe get a couple of queens for transfuses. But, that's one thing the mortals are good at, is dealing with spine crawlers. So, I don't know. Must be enough.
I would like to remind Mr. Toxygen, you did click a checkbox that said, hey, I understand that there's going to be questionable content on this channel. Also, it's probably best that you educate your son earlier rather than later.
Oh, that storm's gonna be great. High Templar does get taken out.
But here's the problem. Like, this is still good for MaNa. I'm not trying to make this a worse situation than this, but I don't think he can actually break these spawns. Well, I don't know. Immortals are pretty freaking good, and he's got 3 weapon upgrades.
That's where I'm just gonna watch it play out, because I honestly don't know. Immortals are very good against spine crawlers, but there's so many spine crawlers. And still a couple of Hydras to help.
Well, you know what? One of the Immortals is about to go down.
And one of the Archons go down too. This is so tricky. Even a couple of Lings helping out here might be enough.
Archon on the backside. Oh my god. Is PenguiN gonna do it with like 10 army supply?
Oh my god. There's 1 Immortal and 1 Archon. What's being pulled over here? Oh, a Phoenix, a Sentry, and a Zealot. F2, man. Oh, and another Immortal.
Yeah, this is one of the few times F2 would actually be very handy. He can hold position behind the mineral line and deny mining, but there's a hatchery up over here doing some bad mining and a hatchery up here doing no mining. I don't know what to make of this, zombie. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is such a weird scenario that MaNa still feels like he should be able to win, but doesn't seem like he can. Oh my god. Every unit counts. He can warp in like 1 Zealot if he wanted to. Maybe an Adept?
Yeah,
Spawning pool goes down. Broodlings will be a problem as he walks away from him.
Yeah, that's where the protective barrier came in handy.
Alright, hold position.
Archons being able to regain shield, also pretty important. This is about time buying. Oh no.
That 1 Zealot should have been in the wall.
Yeah,
But these don't have adrenal glands, so they're actually taking forever to kill the drones or probes.
Yeah, I mean the probes held for a long time, but still not long enough until 2-2.
I think PenguiN's got it. I hate to say it. I think PenguiN's got it.
I'm thinking the same thing.
Okay, Kerrigan.
I'm Kerrigan. It's so unfortunate. It's like 12 Lings that he has to pull back to deal with. Well, now it's like 6 Lings, I guess. Still in the natural, but because it'd also be like a really, really, really terrible feeling to lose an actual base race of last buildings because 2 Lings killed everything in your main. Oh man.
The Archon can't get in.
Nah, you shouldn't be helping anyway. This is the wrong place for you, buddy.
But that's the thing.
Man, imagine if that Tempest had lived. You should have hid that better.
Oh, that's true. Well, let's get up to the top left. PenguiN's been so desperately trying to do anything, he doesn't get any extra production buildings down, so there's no spawning pool. He's gonna run around, play cheeky bugger with another hatchery, maybe. Like, I don't know. These Lings running around are scary, but you know what I really want? I want MaNa so badly to like hallucinate. Not even force field, just hallucinate. There's no detection.
Yeah. I agree. I was thinking about when he would hallucinate. 1 Hydra, 6 Lings cannot beat 2 Immortals, 2 Archons, plus
and
miscellaneous other
2 fake Archons or something, right?
Yeah, he'd have to be around Spine Crawlers, and even then I'm not sure that it does. So
you know what? MaNa's got the money.
Flip the sides here, man.
He's got the money to build an observer. Does he have a robo? He does. No, wait, it's the gas. He doesn't have a gas.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at the minerals. I was gonna say though, if he could have,
well, he could build a probe to mine 30 more minerals
to build an assimilator and a lot of stuff. Well, so my theory with this is that if he kills the creep, all of these buildings will die, and that tumor is gonna be a lot easier to snipe than those spine crawlers will be.
That's a good point. It's such a long game. Oh my god. Oh god, 25 minutes of MaNa just withstanding PenguiN's pressure. That usually ends up with either the Zerg player choosing to try and go to Broodlords, and then the Tempest deal with it, or just like not being able to work against Storms eventually. I really thought that was the point that I was going to get to, because we've seen it so many other times in so many other PvZs. And that's what I really feel for the Zerg. But PenguiN made Lair Tech look good for a 25-minute game where Storms were involved. A little unfortunate there, the Sentry did die to Broodlings. That was not supposed to happen. But even without the Sentry, I still think that MaNa wins.
I'm trying Germany's coast.
I was like, what important thing are you doing?
It's really important because someone needs to screenshot this now and save it so I can put this on a t-shirt and make us rich.
Oh, lordy. PenguiN without a base, without minerals, without drones, it would have to be an actual tie here if MaNa doesn't want to push into this.
Nice meme.
And he sees the spine crawlers and says, maybe I can't push into it. No, he can though, because the barrier leave, right? Like that. No, this is actually impossible. PenguiN can't do it.
Ah, you're right. Yeah, as long as he's got the damage to kill it within the duration of the barrier. I mean, it's a game of.
So long.
I got the camera back, by the way. It's a game of patience. It's a stupid one, but like MaNa might be better off. Like he could tediously do this, or just build a probe and start doing the long distance stuff. Because I mean, honestly, actually, bring these guys. Hello.
Someone needs to learn F2 more.
I know this is like. Honest to God, F2ing is like so bad. You should never do it, etc., etc., except in these rare scenarios. And I fear that like because they're so used to never ever using it, you wouldn't think about it.
PenguiN also has like 6 lings that aren't here right now. I only mentioned that because oh shit, that one's a lot of damage. But I mention it because that's something where like they come in, get their barriers popped, and then they try and leave. And then the lings come in and get like some extra tiny bits of damage and kill an immortal. Like that's the only use the 6 lings have, but it could be a very important use.
This is such a stubborn loss, is what this is. MaNa has, without a doubt, in my mind at least, won this game. Only because he can produce a probe.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like he even wins
this is too risky.
Real base race. Alright, this is what I was talking about, right? The lanes could have gone on the top of the Mortal, but they got on the top of the Archon. Not gonna happen, just kidding.
No, barrier's not up. Oh my god. MaNa.
It's so dumb because, as you said, like even if he lost his army, then he builds a probe and is like the longest build up of a game ever.
So we don't have rules for this because it's never a thing, but I feel like we need to write in a rule where we can call a game in these rare once in a million situations.
Right.
Oh, MaNa did get a probe, by the way. Finally. So working away, GG. Woohoo! 33 minutes later, game 1 goes to MaNa. And you know what? I'm really glad we chose to cast this one. Otherwise, we'd be sitting there waiting for the semifinals forever.
Yeah.
But folks, we wouldn't normally do a commercial break here after one game, but because it's been 40 minutes since our last commercial break, we'll see you soon. That was a long game. All right, we're back and hopping into, well, another game.
Odyssey.
Also, what just happened? I can't run commercials now?
Oh yeah, sometimes it'll say that it's not live channel. I just have to refresh.
Yeah, I just had to do that too. Okay, well, hopefully this might be a little bit awkwardly timed. But anyways, game number 2 in this best of 3. How long was that game? 33 minutes and 38 seconds. A stubborn loss out of this fella. In the bottom right, it is the Blue Zerg, PenguiN.
In the top left, as the red Protoss, it is Liquid MaNa.
So as bad as that may have been, I did like some of the really cool things that happened there. Like PenguiN using the Overlords to deny the focus fire, and the Overlords brought up by chat. The fact that from PenguiN's point of view probably looked like winnable, because up until he lost that one Hydralisk, right? Because I felt like 6 Lings, 1 Hydralisk, at least then you can contemplate killing your opponent's buildings. But without that, the Spine Crawlers would have never won that game. So there was this point where it just got down to silly. But up until that point, there was always that possibility that MaNa overcommits, that the spine cars actually kill the Immortals, that then he gets to push and possibly win. But what I found most interesting of that game, out of all this stuff, was the fact that PenguiN chose. That wasn't like a forced into. He chose to play that game based around layer tech and never move on to Hive.
Yes, he did. With double upgrades, eventually turning into triple upgrades. Another addition that was a little bit odd. Well, I don't really find the lack of a traditional Hive odd, though, just because I think a lot of Zerg players really don't see a point in it.
Well, the reason I would have liked to have seen it, primarily, has to do with, A, the fact that Lings with Adrenal Glands would have performed really well, and he was using a lot of Lings that game. But secondly, yeah, you can theorize, like, okay, Broodlords, or maybe it's Tempest, or maybe it's this, maybe it's that. I just think that the upgrades as well, yeah, would have gone a long way.
That's a good point.
Plus,
Adrenal Glands especially.
I can't say there'd be a lot of use because of the amount of Templar, but heck, at the end, when the Templar are all gone, it's Archons and, like, those Immortals. Can you imagine if there was one Viper with those Spine Crawlers? Yeah.
No, I'm not quite on board, like, and I don't think any Zerg player really looks at a Hive or Broodlord and says, like, no way I'm ever making those again. Not like, you know, the whole, like, unhotkey or your Swarm Host era that we had a couple months ago. But I do think a lot of, like, players are going to be looking towards just pushing the issue with Baneling Hydra more and more. So, this is the first time we saw such a long game based off of layer, like intentional layer 2, not because he was being harassed so much he had no choice but to continue to all in or something like that. But I'd like to see it more, really. I wonder if the full upgrades have a really big impact as well. Because, you know, I did the math, I said it out loud, and then that's like only when I really realized how much that Kerberos upgrade can cost. But, you know, none of this might matter, as that's a pretty early Baneling nest. And some Lings. A lot of Lings. You don't see old-fashioned Baneling bust much anymore, but this is a very incomplete wall. That might have been the trigger, or just, you know, a 30-minute game. F that again.
Sorry, just showing you some really good news.
Cool.
I can't share with you guys publicly yet, but maybe by end of day I will be able to, and that would be really nice. But yeah, Baneling bust. You mentioned old-fashioned, and there's a good reason, right? It just doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah. He even canceled the third base that was building. That was crazy. I'm pretty sure he did. He was building one. Usually that's at least used for a larva factory, or if you deal just enough damage to knock her out.
Oh, he's gonna need that soccer in the wall.
Yeah, the Stalker still took a lot of Banelings.
Oh, but it's not in position. The surround is dangerous. Overcharge gets popped. So hold on for a little bit, but there's so many Lings coming in. That alone's not going to cut it. And MaNa doesn't have production. Warpgate's only just finishing, and he's going to have these pylons depowered before he uses the gateways. This, I don't think he can hold with an Immortal.
Oh, man.
You can save the probes with the Warpers, maybe?
There's no place to put him, though. That's going to be safe.
Yep, still pick him up. Put him, plant one back, put a
Just leave
pylon.
him in
I don't
there.
know.
Yeah, maybe.
GG. Alright, well, that may have been like the longest game into the fastest game, and I can't believe a Baneling bust works. But game number 2 goes to PenguiN, and he ties up the series now 1-1. Yep. This, by the way, all things considered for how long that was, not all the other semifinals are ready to go yet. Bly still playing against Hellraiser. Geralt still playing against Alive. Also, shout out to Geralt, 2-1 over Healer. That's pretty cool. And of course, this series. The only one that's done is Keen did beat Ziggy 2-0 and waits in the semifinals.
Looks like MaNa had some serious Terran issues. That Warpgate was 114 out of 114.
Oh.
It's done.
Ooh, I love that you call it Terran issues, but it hurts so bad.
Next map's gonna be Abyssal. You're already in here.
Alright, well, MaNa might be a little bit apprehensive and on guard for anything following this. I think for PenguiN, what I love about that is, like, forget any element of, like, possible mind games. Just simply put, you don't want to play another 33-minute game versus MaNa.
Well,
so going for earlier moves, all-ins, whatever, makes total sense in that realm of thought.
Yeah, I was going to mention that I think MaNa might have been thinking the same thing. Like, he was opening up with a Robo and a War Prism. I mean, that can still lead to a third base, don't get me wrong, but I was like wondering what his plan was. We never really got to see it flesh out. Maybe we'll see this game.
Oh, well, good thing we're using Discord because Skype just died.
Oh, it didn't for me.
So I'll get that back up and running after this game. Luckily, your dulcet voice is still with us.
How is your Skype dead, but I'm still on a call with you?
I don't know, it's like yesterday when we hung up, but I could still talk to you.
Yeah, that freaks me out, man. I know that happened to us before, too. You're
Guys,
just like,
actually,
like,
before we do intros, I gotta tell a story. So, like, we get off stream and we do our goodbyes, we say see you later, good job, etc. And we hang up Skype call, and we hang up Discord, and I've closed Discord straight up. Like, the program's not even open on my computer. And somehow Zomgrab's still maintaining a connection to talk to me through Discord. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was weird, and yesterday was weird, but finally Skype crashed for you, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll get that fixed after. Spawning here at the bottom right, he is going to be the red Protoss. Just for the taste of defeat, it is MaNa.
On the top left, as the blue Zerg with the pool first, it's PenguiN. Because his hatch was denied? That's weird.
Maybe just been a choice. Worried that MaNa would pay him back.
Oh, okay. But yeah, now he's getting a gas. I mean, pool first, right? Like, whatever. But usually it's not just a pool first at 17 or 18, whatever it was.
Ooh. So this is an interesting thing for MaNa to do.
16, actually.
You block out one hatchery. Maybe you even block out the other. But that also then potentially forces your opponent to a one base, something that he just died to. Like, I'm not saying it would happen, but it's still like a bit risky, you know?
Thank you to Stig Vatland for the 8-month resub.
Oh my god, that reminds me, I heard the best joke yesterday. You ready for this?
Ready.
Why do Swedish boats have barcodes on them?
Oh, okay. Why?
So they can Scandinavian.
That was on Reddit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I liked it a lot. That's one of the ones that stayed in my brain for a while.
Okay. Well. Triple hatch shortly after that. I didn't catch the pool timing. Maybe that was just him opening with slightly earlier lanes. Maybe it was the fact that his hatch was denied. We just don't see real probe or pylon denials anymore because Zergs have gotten so used to sending that drone out a little bit earlier, getting a little bit earlier of a hatchery, or going for the third base for the hatchery. So to see like one where you're like, oh well, I guess I can't get it now. I guess I gotta get the spawning pool at like an awkward time. It's been quite a while, but I wasn't quite paying enough attention to see if that was the exact scenario. Point is now came into the game, looks very normal with speed about halfway done. MaNa once again choosing the Robotech.
I can never remember the command for this arena battle thing.
With our forces combined.
No, I'll just go look it up on the bot command list. I just hate that I have to tab out to do it.
Thank you to Ilta77 for the 30-month resub.
Oh, wow. By the way, side note, did you know that since we've instated GatherBot, over 1 million Makarovs have been earned? With 25,000 fans having an average of 40 Makarovs per person.
I did not know that. Thank you. My life has been enriched.
Yep. All right, you ready to kill each other in the arena? I'm going to boost everyone, too. Everyone's going to have 100 extra Makarovs. Everyone going with at least 100.
Let's do this. Haven't won one yet.
I keep getting to, like, the semifinals and getting slaughtered. It's really depressing.
You won one, though. So, you know, you already got what you deserved. A win. If that wasn't clear.
Alright, Dark Shrine. That's the most, like, wholesome memes thing you've done in a while.
Well, I mean,
you'll get what you deserve. Congratulations and a pat on the back.
It was a little too harsh to end it off with you get what you deserved after you said slaughtered, like my head cut off or whatever. That doesn't sound too wholesome. But yeah, so Robo opener, for the Warp Prism harassment that this time is not stifled by a Baneling Bust into a Telic Console with Resident Enclaves into a Dark Shrine. That's some solid harassment opportunities. And a solid attack opportunity, because if you can get the Adepts in with a couple of Archons, that is a fair army.
Alright, well, the Lings did a really good job of thwarting this off. MaNa is going to make a choice. Ban the Adepts and get the Dark Shrine going, or all go in at once at the same location, I guess. But transferring these around is going to be dangerous because the Lings already got them so low.
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, $5.
Hey.
From Bad Joke Man. I don't even want to read this. This is going to be painful. $5 says, today I'm opening up my time capsule from when I was a kid. I cannot wait to see how big my puppy got. Oh no.
Oh, that is a bad joke.
That is a bad joke.
Oh.
I'm sad. That's not laughing, that's crying.
Yeah. Alright, well,
Oh,
as
this
I said,
is such a
MaNa
sick
had
move.
a lot of opportunities to catch PenguiN off guard somewhere, and it ended up being the DTs.
Yeah, so you got to cast the game with Bly, obviously, but this got really out of hand. I don't think we'll see 21 drones dead, but this is still a nice snipe on the Spore Crawler. Got a couple of drones with it, too. I kind of wish you had gotten more, like maybe focus the Baneling Nest or something instead. But when you're chasing around the drones, you know, the DTs are not, they're fast units, but they're not that fast.
Yeah. And thank you to XXX Ace Blade with the 4-month resub.
What a cool name. The dude's probably important. That's probably the name of his donger.
Ace Blade. I'm okay.
Got an ace in my hole. Or ace up my sleeve. Damn, no, I messed that up. Forget it. Forget abandoned ship. Abandoned ship.
Two birds in a bush with a stone. Ah!
Two birds in her bush with a... Oh, God. All right, Archon's coming here. Drone's going down. So are probes. It's a better trade for MaNa, though, at the end of the day. And he'll even be able to get maybe a couple Hydras. Just gotta be careful that Warp Prism doesn't get picked off.
Yeah, PenguiN doesn't even have the upgrades on his Hydras yet, so that wasn't truly a threat. Just picks up the Archons and leaves. Successfully held against the Ling run by, and now has all this juicy production. Just has to buy time for charge. Primarily. This time, PenguiN did not go for the double upgrades, so a much more standard looking +2 on the way. Just the +2. I thought... Oh, did I die?
Hmm?
No. Oh, I didn't. Okay.
The arena hasn't started yet.
I thought you already put your arena
I
points
did.
in.
I was trying to sneak in another 40. You weren't supposed to see that and add another 100 yourself.
Well, rip.
Now you're armed. You're well armed, more so than I. But I'm all in. I don't have any more Makarovs left.
Well, that's what you get for trying to cheat.
Unless...
This is like in Jumanji where you grow a tail. So you try to
Okay,
cheat.
I just put 25 more in.
Oh, okay. Wait, can I just take it back?
No, because I just spent it on the arena.
I can't put you in the deficit.
Get wrecked, son. Of
Got
course,
wrecked.
that stream delay, for those who don't know, I just stole 25 from Zombie and invested it immediately, but Zealots come charging into that front line, and the Hydras immediately look shook, and they're like, wait, I wasn't ready for this. They've tried to back away, but oh, this goes so well for MaNa. And he catches this before the Banelings are done. Those crash into the Adepts, but who the hell really cares? He already took care of most of the Hydras. Everything that the Banelings are meant to do are to keep those Hydras alive.
Yeah, this is looking like a game.
Oh, the Warp Prism Micro's looking pretty dope, too, out of MaNa. Keeps those sentries up. Base gets sniped, and he's not done yet. He's got another round of Warpins coming. DTs and High Templar.
All different types of Archons, broski.
I guess, yes, spend the money however you can. And then lose the Templar for free. Feels bad, man. Of course, there's no storms to accompany this. It is just the Archons for their damage, and these drones getting pulled are pretty bad. The micro out of MaNa through this Warp Prison, though, is on point. He's only losing a couple units through this. And PenguiN is losing everything through this.
Even his mothership core is alive. She could run out of time warp. GG.
That was a really solid game out of MaNa. GG. Well played. 2-1 moves on to the semifinals. Nice. Oh yeah, Skype crashed. I forgot about that. All right. We'll go to commercial break while I get Skype back up and running, so we get Zamgrub's wonderful face back. After this, whichever the semifinal match is available first is the one we'll go to. Currently, Keen awaits an opponent. MaNa is currently awaiting an opponent. And we'll see you guys here in a couple minutes. Thanks for watching.